Hello, I'm Steve Olson, the Manager of Training Services for Mesa. In this video, I'd like to continue a workflow where we try to take a AutoCAD floor plan into a 3D Revit model and also use Recap to verify if the original floor plan was correct. So in this part, here is the AutoCAD floor plan that I have for that facility. And the one thing that's already done in this file is just seeing where the origin of the model is. And if you remember, when I was trying to set up the origin for in the recap model, I tried to put it on this lower corner. You can see if you look at the coordinates at the bottom of the screen, I'm really close to 0. I'm not quite on that corner, but I'm basically really close to 0. And that's just done by doing a regular old AutoCAD move. Initially, the origin was this corner here or this corner here. I can't remember which one. But I just did a regular old AutoCAD move, and I've saved this model. The next thing we'll do is we'll go over to Revit, and we'll attach this model to that, and then we'll start building from this. So now here I am in Revit. I'm going to go ahead and start a new model from an architectural template. So now I'm going to go up here to Insert, and I want to tell it I want to link to a CAD file. And I'll browse out and find that document. Here it is. And just to kind of take a look at some of the settings I have here, all layers, import units have it set to auto detect, positioning auto origin to origin as best that it can. And we'll go ahead and say OK or open. And there is that model. Let's go ahead and save this before we do too much. I'll call this Facility Revit Model. So now I've got my AutoCAD file in my Revit model. I can actually use the wall and column commands to place those elements in this design, and I can snap to the AutoCAD file. So I'm going to go up here to Wall. I just need to pick which type. I'm going to use the 8-inch generic. I think the wall from the AutoCAD file is just a little bit bigger than that, but I'm just going to kind of keep things simple in this demonstration, keeping kind of some really generic sizes. And here I want to pick my line location. I want to have this be the finish interior because that's the wall I want to trace, because that's the one I probably would have scanned in the design. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to start on this corner. You can see it's kind of going to the wrong side, but a simple click of the space bar will have the orientation flip over to the other side. You can see here I'm just having to trace the AutoCAD file, which Revit is allowing me to snap to it, so it's really making things really nice and easy here. I'll kind of go over to here. Can come up. In this case here, I'm going to kind of click on the end of my other wall and escape to get out of it. And you can see that Revit is really smart, and it ends up cleaning up a lot of those corners for me. Now, there is another interior wall here that I'll have to replicate that as well. So go back to Architecture, Wall, still using the 8-inch generic, still using the right line location. And I'll snap into here. And now I've got my facility kind of all set up and created. Let's go ahead and save this. So now for my columns, I'll come up here to my column command. It's going to ask if I want to do a structural or architecture. I'm just really worried about the architecture right now, not so much all the structural. So I'll go to architectural. And these are rectangular columns. But you can see here my size isn't quite right. So what I'll do is I'll go to the edit type command. And I'll make these 3 feet 3 inches, which I think is about the right size. I might be a little bit off, but that should work for what we're trying to show here. Say OK, and now I can place one of these here. Kind of place it right over that. There we go. So one thing to kind of mention about the walls and the columns that I didn't really mess with so far is that if I click on one of these here, there is a height property, whether it's going up to, you can see here it's going up to what is considered level 2 in the design. Obviously I can control all this. I'm not messing with it here. I'm just trying to get this, just kind of showing how this workflow works. There's a lot of other tools here to kind of get that set up. But if I go into a 3D view here, you can see I do have 3D elements. Now I don't have any doors or windows, but in my case, the AutoCAD file didn't show that. But when we get to comparing recap to this design, we can actually place those and come back and kind of play back and forth and see where those elements are and kind of place them from doing that. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me at my email address on the screen. Again, thank you for watching.